So in the last lesson, we learned how to tempo match and beat mix two songs together, plus we learned about the 4-bar counting trick. We're going to use this knowledge plus another thing I'll teach in this lesson to give you some tips on knowing when and where to hit play on the track when you're performing a mix. First up, let's take a look at a typical house music song. A track like this is usually made up of different segments or chunks called song sections. There are different types of song sections depending on the style of music. For techno, usually there's an intro at the beginning, which is usually either just a sparse drum beat or synth. There's a verse, which contains more musical elements. There's a breakdown, which is where the drums disappear and it gets a bit quiet. A build-up, which has an increase in energy and tension. And then a drop, which usually has big drums and the most recognizable part of the tune. Finally, the ending usually consists of an outro, which is also sparse like the intro. Now, it's useful to look at music this way because it gives you a mental model of how a track will progress. One of the most basic mixes that you can do is to mix in the intro of a song during the outro of a currently playing track, which is exactly what I did in the last video. The reason this works almost all of the time is because the intro and outro usually contain just a few musical elements. Maybe just the drums, a synth, or a bass line. Let's try that right now. Counting using the 4-bar trick is a handy way of keeping track of song sections in a tune because, as we mentioned earlier, almost all of dance music can be counted this way. So I've got 2 tracks loaded here. Deck 1 is almost done, and I want to mix into the track on Deck 2. Just by looking at the waveforms, I can already tell that there's an outro coming up for Deck 1 because the waveforms aren't so busy towards the end. And I can also tell Deck 2 that there's a nice quiet intro with a sparse drum beat because I can see the waveform spikes. So I'm going to hit play on Deck 1, and then I'm going to count in 4-bar sections. Then I'm going to hit play on Deck 2 right when the outro for Deck 1 starts. You can also see that the tempos aren't matched, so I'm going to hit the sync button over here on Deck 2 right after I hit play on Deck 1. Here we go. 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, and 1. Awesome. Now, let's move the jog wheel, line up those beats. And I can begin moving the crossfader from the left to the right. Awesome mix. Mixing with intros and outros is one of the most basic and most useful mix techniques for all DJs, and you can actually play a lot of parties and gigs doing just this. Of course, there are other styles you can explore, such as mixing the intro of your next tune with the break of the track that's currently playing, and the way to know if they're going to sound good is to know your tunes inside and out and to practice mixing them. What I want you to do now is to try mixing the outro of one song into the intro of another, just like what I did earlier. In the next lesson, we'll explore the hot cues performance pad mode of the DDJ-SB2, so I'm going to see you then.